Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 589th YouTube battle that I've put on our channel. Straight away you'll see this is a medieval Total War II battle, fought on a very popular battle map called Pavia. And as you can see there, you've got that long Roman road, if you like, there, that separates the two teams. Okay? And it's got the potential to be a really great battle. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member TR, and I believe this is only the second time that he's ever played medieval Total War II, but he's chosen a really good faction, Portugal, which I believe is one of the most powerful factions in the game, Portugal and Spain. Quick look at his units there, and you can see he's got dismounted conquistadores. Look how well armoured his troops are. Just looking at those troops there, it looks like they could be quite formidable to fight. And another one of his units there is the Adventuros. Okay, now these are 112 man spear units. Okay, very long spears, as you can see there. And these guys are obviously very good against cavalry, but also they're good against infantry as well, and could hold infantry up for a very long time. So this is a very good unit to bring there. Let's say, going up against those spearmen, it's a big challenge. Then he's got his cavalry there, the Conquistadores. Just look how well armoured they are. I think they could be quite a formidable cavalry there. And as I say, he's got some more dismounted conquistadors there. So, as I say, it's only the second time I think TR has played medieval Total War II. But as I say, he's bought a good faction there, Portugal. As I say, Portugal and Spain, so I'm told, are two of the most powerful factions in the game. Our next teammate is MTW2 player AM Nestos, who has bought his faction of choice, Egypt. I've noticed he's bringing this faction quite a lot now. And there you have his effective against armour axemen there. You can see those axes they're carrying. And then he's got his Saracen militia spearmen, which of course will be anti-cavalry. And then he's got his cavalry, which of course are the Royal Mamluks. Now these guys are one of the elite cavalry units in the game. Very good specifications, and not to be messed with. And here you can see other units there. Can you see with just you can see their banners, but you can't actually see the units. They're kind of like hiding, which is unusual there. And here you can see a unit there, good quality unit. Okay, so that's as I say, that's AM Nestos is faction of choice these days, Egypt. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Byzantine Empire. I think you've seen me play with this faction before. It's not a faction that's bought very often by other players, but I'm trying to really persevere with it and see how good I can do with it. Okay, the archers, good long-range archers. They got massive defense, so you can use them as good light infantry when they run out of arrows. And there we've got the dismounted Latincon infantry there. Got good specifications, good defense. Now you've got the Varangian guard there, which are effective against armour axemen, really good attacking specifications. And then you've got their cavalry. Now their cavalry specifications aren't very good, but they have got effective against armour maces as their alt attack weapon. So that makes them quite strong as well. Okay, so there's our team. It's got the potential to be a great battle, and I hope you enjoy it. And here is the other team. We have MTW2 player Cholo Macho, who has bought the most powerful faction in the game, and that is Spain. Okay. And just have a quick look at his faction there. You can see he's got his Pavis crossbowmen. Remember, we've looked at these before with the shields on their back. So when they turn to reload their crossbow, which takes a bit of time, they turn their back to the enemy, which is of course where the shield is, to protect them from enemy shot. And then you've got the general bodyguard units there. They'll be very tough with good specifications. And you've got the dismounted conquistadores. A lot of the units in Spain faction are like the units in Portugal. That's why I say Portugal and Spain are the two most powerful factions in the game. And here you can see they've got their dismounted oh no, these are the sword and buckler units there. Okay, these are they say they're only light infantry, but they've got very good specifications there. And he's got Pavis crossbowmen as well. Their next teammate is Militant Sumo, and he's played in a couple of our games before. Seems to be a good player, and you can see he's bought the French faction. Now the French faction is quite a tough faction as well. Got really good cavalry, good infantry as well. Have a quick look there. Okay, if you looked amongst those units there, some of them haven't even got helmets on. And there he's got his adventurer crossbowmen there. Remember those guys fire effective against armour crossbow bolts. And he's got his dismounted chivalric knights there. Very good specifications. Infantry very good there. for the French. So I think that's a pretty good French army there. And as I say, I think he's a pretty experienced player, as we've seen him play in other games of ours. Their last teammate is Brotherhood member Demon, who has got the Venice faction there. And look where he's positioned his troops, on a very nice hill there. I think he's got the tents and the camping stoves out there. I don't think he's looking to go anywhere from there. And there he's got the 112-man pike units there. Obviously very good against cavalry, but they are good against infantry as well. And he's got his musketeers. Now remember, those musketeers got a good range and they fire effective against armor shot. So they are very good, and especially from a hill position there, they'll have more elevation there. And here you can see that their heavy infantry uses effective against armor maces. And he's got his cavalry right up on top of the hill there. So my guess is there that's a really good defensive position that he's not going to leave. And that will be a real challenge for us during the course of the battle, as you will see. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you can see that Demon is holding the hill, and the rest of his team, Militant Sumo, is moving their armies over towards the hill. So that's where obviously the team is looking to move over to the hill there. And I'm just wondering whether the Spanish player, now if I remember correctly, I don't think the Spanish player got the memo, because if I remember correctly, I don't think that he starts moving his troops over to the flank there. And I think he tries to make a stand with just his troops. Now, of course, as I say, all their enemy team are moving up onto that to that flank there where the hill is. And if the Spanish player doesn't do that, then of course he's going to be isolated, and all three of us could possibly attack him. So we just have to see what he's going to do. Okay, he's got the Spanish faction, the most powerful faction in the game. But I don't think he should try and maybe make a stand on his own. We can see that the Spanish player is not moving very fast, and it looks like he's going to probably be staying where he is. So that's okay by us, because all three of us will attack him there. And as I say, Militant Sumo has got some cavalry there to help him, but I think he's moved most of his infantry up towards the hill where Demon is. And as I say, my guess is that the team plan was to move right up to the hill where Demon is, but as I say, the Spanish player seems to as I say, hasn't got the memo, and it looks like he's just going to try and make a stand here where he is. And as I say, that's okay by us, because all three of us can now attack him if he does not move up towards the hill with his mates. Right, okay, straight away here you can see that AM Nestos with his Egyptian army there has spotted that the Spanish player seems to be wanting to make a stand where he is. So you can see that AM Nestos moving his Egyptian army out there. I think we all three of us said, okay, well, let's hit the Spanish player. And I think TR, AM Nestos and myself will attack him where he stands at the moment. As I say, you can see he's kind of making a defensive position there. So he is going to try and make a stand on his own, while his allies are all going up towards the hill where Demon is. So that seems to be a rather strange tactic to me, because he's actually isolated himself there and is leaving himself open to being attacked by three armies. So I think that's a rather unusual tactic there to try and make a stand. Okay, yes, as I say, he's got Spain, the most powerful faction in the game, but even Spain's not going to stand against three armies, I don't think. And that's what he looks like he's going to do. You can see he is definitely taking up a defensive position there. So as I say, rather than forming up at the back of the forming up area and then running up to the hill, he's decided he's going to make a stand here. And as I say now, TR, AM Nestos and myself will attack him in that position there. You can see AM Nestos here moving his Egyptian army forward, being very aggressive here, leading the charge, if you like, to attack the Spanish player. As I say, TR will attack as well, and I'm moving my Byzantine army over there as well. Okay, you can see the Spanish here doing a downhill attack there, and bang! As their cavalry smashes in to AM Nestos' infantry there. That was one heck of a downhill cavalry charge there. You can see the French cavalry charging over there as well, and bang! As they charge in to AM Nestos is a Royal Mamluks cavalry there. So as I say, the French ally here, Militant Sumo's trying to help his Spanish ally out, but really, to be honest with you, I think it's kind of a bit of a forlorn hope in a way. Here you can see my cavalry. Remember, my Byzantine Empire faction is purple. You can see that there as I'm charging up the hill with my cavalry against those Spanish troops there. So you can see Nestos' troops engaged. So let's just pause the game. So here you can see this particular faction here. They actually throw like hand grenades, hand-thrown fire pot grenades, and that could be quite devastating to the enemy. I think it must bring a fear factor as well, because it burns them alive while they're actually fighting. And as you can see here, charging my cavalry there up with Nestos' Egyptian troops here against these Spanish troops. As I say, the Spanish faction is thought to be the most powerful faction in the game, and that's why I presume he decided he was going to make a stand where he was, rather than move over to the hill where the rest of his teammates are. As you can see, TR's army is attacking them as well now, so all three of us at the moment are attacking this Spanish faction here. As I say, Cholo Macho here may have made a bit of a tactical mistake, because if or when we take out his army, this is going to make it into a 2v3 then. As you can see, we're really pushing in there, and you can see the Spanish troops starting to crack now under the pressure that we're putting under there, the sheer numbers that we're bringing into the battle. As I say, pause the game for a second here. So you can see my cavalry there fighting the Spanish cavalry. Now make no mistake, the Spanish cavalry have got better specifications than my cavalry, but as I said, my cavalry have got effective against armor maces, so that could make up for the difference possibly there against the better specifications of the Spanish cavalry. As I say, here you can see my infantry now, and Nestos has pushed the Spanish infantry off that hill, routed a lot of them. There's a couple of cavalry units left. Here you can see Militant Sumo with his cavalry are fighting Nestos' Mamluks there. But as I say, the Mamluks have looked to me like they've got effective against armor maces. And if you notice, the French cavalry have just got swords. There you are, let's see. The Royal Mamluks effective against armor alt attack weapon there. As I say, very effective against those French cavalry with just swords. But as you can see, most of the French army has moved over to where Demon is by the hill there, and I'm sure that was a team plan for them all to move over there. But as I say, the Spanish general there decided that he was going to make a stand here, and as you can see, most of his army has been routed now, as we expected it would be, being attacked by three armies there. There you can see the Spanish units there starting to rout as we take the hill that he decided to make that forlorn stand there. I don't know what made him think that he was going to be able to stand against three armies. Okay, like I say, he's got the most powerful faction in the game, Spain, but he certainly wasn't going to hold against three armies there, so maybe not a very good tactical decision. Let's just say the French here, the French knights here fighting those Royal Mamluks there. But maybe now the French general's seen that his Spanish ally's been taken out. Might be a good idea to withdraw his troops and take them back over to the right there where the rest of his infantry are. Here you can see my cavalry, my purple cavalry now is arriving there, and I'm going to charge into that cavalry. So as I say, maybe it might be a good idea now for Militant Sumo to move his French troops out of the way there and back over to the right where the rest of his infantry are, and where Demon's infantry are is up on the hill. Otherwise he's going to lose the troops he's throwing in there. You can see his troops starting to rout now, his cavalry. He's brought over a Swiss pike unit there. Of course, we'll avoid that pike unit with our cavalry. I'm bringing my archers over at the moment, so 5 really good archers are going to be shooting into him there, into that pike unit. Here you can see a rallied Spanish cavalry unit has come back into charge into one of my infantry units. I'm going to counter-attack with my cavalry. As I say, very battle-damaged Spanish rallied cavalry unit come back into the fray there. And it looks like he's going to withdraw those cavalry units. But for all intents and purposes now, we have taken out, I think, the vast majority of Spanish troops there between us. As I say, I've got my archers now up on the higher ground, So any Spanish troops that are left will be being targeted by my archers. As I say, this Swiss pike unit here, obviously you don't want to hit them with cavalry, as they will be anti-cavalry. They'll have anti-cavalry bonus there, but my archers up on the higher ground there will be shooting loads of arrows into any of the enemy units that are in range. And as I say, that was a 112-man unit when he just brought it into the fray. You can see it's already been reduced there, and we haven't got into hand-to-hand fighting with that unit. So that's just archer damage that's reduced that unit, as I say, from 112 men. There you can just see the archer. As I say, if I was that militant sumo, I just like kind of run my troops back over to that other flank there, because I mean this unit is just going to rout. It's going to be weakened so much by archer fire that probably a solid cavalry hit would rout it, because obviously the more casualties it suffers, the less morale it's got, and as I say, one big cavalry hit would probably rout it there. You can see that, as I say, that's a 112-man unit reduced to 33, 32 from archer fire there. And here comes a cavalry lap. Those Mamluks are going to smash into. It wouldn't surprise me if it routed it almost on impact there. As I say, remember that pike unit will be anti-cavalry there, but it's been reduced. That unit's been reduced so much by archer fire. There you are, it's routed. So as I say now, I think we've managed to rout all of the Spanish troops that were holding against us now. Okay, so as I say, all the Spanish troops have been taken out, and I think we're going to enter phase 2 of the battle now. As I say, we've routed, as I say, most of the Spanish troops there. Well, I think all of the Spanish troops now have been routed, and as I say, we're going to enter phase 2 of the battle now, and what I would name this is attacking the hill. Okay, now make no mistake here, Demon's got his troops entrenched on that hill. He's not going to move off that hill. Okay, so he's got all the downhill advantages that brings, plus he's got his French ally there as well, who may well form up on the hill as well. And I don't blame him doing that, because at the moment it's a 3v2. Now we've taken their Spanish ally out. Okay, it is a 3v2, so if they wanted to encamp on the hill there and make it very difficult to attack, I wouldn't blame them for that, because as I say, it is a 2v3 now, and I think the French player should, French general there maybe should put his troops up on the hill with Demon there. That would be the best thing to do, best defensive position there, and then as I say, the three of us would have to try and take that hill, which could be a really tall order. Look at the downhill advantage that they've got. Remember, when you're up on a hill, you get your missile troops, their missiles go further and do more damage. Plus, of course, if you charge downhill, you get the downhill charge bonus as well. So this will be a massive hill for us to attack. And I think this is going to be a real challenge for us here to try and take this hill. As I say though, it's unusual to see a hill battle, so it should make this battle even more interesting for you to watch. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you can see that Militant Sumo is taking his French troops over into the woods there, rather than on the hill. Now, bearing in mind that all three of us here are getting ready to attack the hill here, I think what might be a good idea is for Militant Sumo to put his troops on the hill with Demon, because bearing in mind it is now a 3v2, I wouldn't blame them for doing that, but instead of that, it looks like he's taking his troops over into the woods there, which could actually cause him to be a little bit isolated as well. You know, and that might not be a very good tactical move there, because obviously if he's isolated, then all three of us could actually go for the French player. Right at the back of the map here, you can see that TR has got some of his cavalry units there ready to strike when he's ready there, hiding his units at the rear. But as I say, that the French general there seems to be moving his troops over into the woods here rather than moving them up onto the hill, and I'd thought maybe it might be a good idea for him to move his troops up onto the hill, as this is now a 3v2. Okay, you can see us now gradually moving forward. Right, you can see, as I say, remember my Byzantine Empire troops are the purple troops here. Now where I'm aiming for here, I'm aiming to get up onto that slope. You see that slope there? That's where I'm aiming to get there. If I can get my missile troops there with their long range, I think I could do a lot of damage from there. So that's the slope I'm heading for now. You can see here the French general here with his cavalry has spotted my archers are a little bit advanced in advance there of my infantry and cavalry, and he looks like he's going to hit my archers there. There you can see a nice little lightning hit there by the French general, going to smash into my archers. There you can see they got their lances down ready to make impact as they go in there, and bang, as he charges into my archers there. Nice hit there, but you can notice here that my teammate Nestos has brought his cavalry in, plus I've got my cavalry in as well there to counter attack those French cavalrymen there that just tried to take out some of my archers. Okay, but as I say, you can see my purple Byzantine infantry and archers are still making from that slope, because I think that would be a good tactical position to put my troops there, slightly higher ground from the woods, and I know that a lot of French troops are in the woods there, so they may well try and attack, and that means they would have to attack up that slope there towards my troops. So as I say, there you can see most of my infantry now moving up onto that slope. I think my archers I've held back there to shoot into the enemy there, but as you say, you can see there my Byzantine Empire infantry there making their way up on top of that slope there. And it'll be interesting to see if the French general is going to make an attempt to attack there. You can see he's attacking with his cavalry, but as I say there, he's kind of isolating himself there with his army there against three of us again, like the Spanish general did there. And so as I say, my best thoughts there would have been for him to have moved his French army up onto the hill with Demon to hold the hill. As I say, I wouldn't blame him doing that, because it is a 2v3 now, and really holding that hill would be the best thing. But here you can see he's throwing infantry in there, probably going to attack up that slope. As you can see, he's already got one infantry unit attacking up at the slope there towards my troops. So I'm not sure if that's a good move there. And of course I've got my archers set there shooting into the enemy troops there as well. And as I say, you can see my Egyptian ally moving across here to help as well attack these French troops. So as I say, having them in the woods there rather than up on the hill, I think as I say, he's going to get a bit isolated there. And here you can see Demon's bringing his fast moving cavalry down here, Stradiots I think they're called. He always brings them with his faction, and they're very effective. I think they've got effective against armor maces there. They're fast moving, but they are only light cavalry, but they can do a lot of damage, especially to archers and going into the rear of engaged enemy troops there. Okay, so as you can see the French infantry attacking up this slope here towards my infantry, which is what I was hoping they were going to do. That's why I moved up onto the top of that slope, and that's exactly what they've done. We've got Egyptian infantry and cavalry moving in on them as well. As you can see, there's a nice hit in the rear of that unit by one of Nestos' cavalry units there, smashing into the rear. And you can see I've got my cavalry locked and loaded, ready to charge into those French infantry when I'm ready. But as I say, the French infantry is fighting up the slope now, which is what I wanted them to do there. And as I say, the French units here are isolated, and as you can see here, both Nestos with his Egyptian troops and my troops here are engaging those French units, so they are a bit isolated. Okay, here you can see Demons, Stradiots, those fast moving cavalry there up against Nestos' cavalry there. So you can see us charging in their cavalry, charging their plus. As I say, we're engaging this French infantry, so we're probably going to take out these French infantry. You can see him charging that French unit forward. You can see I'm counter-attacking with my infantry, and you can see that I'm bringing my cavalry into the fray now, and they're going to penetrate through my infantry into that French infantry there, and bang, as they smash in there, and you can see the French infantry starting to waver, starting to rout now, and that's those two units taken out. Okay, so we've routed a lot of the French infantry there. Now, as I say, I think that the militant Sumo, the French general there, maybe should have formed up on the hill with Demon rather than putting his troops in the woods for us to attack. Remember, our archers are going to be shooting into his troops as well all the time there. And I say, so that's what he's doing now. He's taking his missile troops back up onto the hill there. Now remember, if he gets up onto the hill, he's got all that downhill advantage there of his missiles going further and doing more damage. So that's where, as I say, that's where I thought he would have placed all his troops up on the hill anyway. He's got an infantry unit there. He may want to move up on there, but he's lost a lot of his troops already in that woods there, where they were outnumbered by our troops. So you know, there you are. You can see he's still moving a unit forward now, an infantry unit forward now. there, and he's just going to be engulfed by our troops. Can you see he's just moving that one unit forward there, and he's just going to get hit there by all our troops, plus our archers are shooting into him as well. So as I say, Demon's up on the hill there, he's got all his army there, and as I say, I thought the in a tactical move there, the French general maybe should have done the same, but obviously he decided that that's what he's not going to do there. But as I say, here's another French infantry unit here being attacked by our Egyptian ally. I'm charging my infantry into it as well. That unit, make no mistake, is probably going to rout. There's another rallied French infantry unit coming back into the fray. But as I say, rather than try and fight here, what might have been a good idea is for him to send those two units up on the hill with Demon. I don't know what you guys are thinking there, but now he's been attacked there by our combined armies there, and both those units have now been routed. So I'm not sure what the thinking was behind that there. Okay, so now what we've got to do, we've got to think about where we're going to, how we are going to attack this hill. Okay, now I think the thinking here was TR was thinking about attacking straight up the hill here, but you can see these musketeers here shooting their effective against armor musket shot into our troops. They got massive range as well, and of course being on an elevated position up on that hill, their shot's going to go even further, do more damage from there. So make no mistake, Demon I think is going to get some good kills up here. As I say, we're moving forward there towards him. As I say, I think the tactics here is let's just pause the game for a second here. So I think what we're thinking of as a team here is TR is going to attack a full frontal attack straight up the hill to hold and pin Demon's infantry. I think that was the thinking behind that. So that's where TR wants to attack, straight up the hill there to pin and hold Demon's infantry. Then AM Nestos with his Egyptian troops are going to go in on the flank. I think that's the thinking here. He's going to go in on the flank there at the same time as TR attacks. Okay, so that's where the Egyptian troops are now. What I want to do with my troops, my infantry and cavalry, I want to try and get a little bit behind the hill there. What I'd like to do is take my troops maybe over to this area here, okay, and then attack at the rear of the hill there. Okay, so we're going to hit them from 3 separate directions. That is I think that was the basic battle plan of our team there. Of course, TR attacking straight up the hill here, he's going to lose a lot of men. Can you see he's got both infantry and his archers in open order? Okay, remember, you put your troops in open order to avoid more missile damage. If you keep your troops in close, tight formation when you're being fired at by archers, for instance, you will lose a lot more men than if you've got them in open order. And as I say, with Demon in this elevated position here, so all his missile troops, all their missiles will go further and do more damage there. That's a good tactic by TR to have even his infantry in open order there to try and avoid as many missiles, as much missile damage as possible. Okay. So as I say, that's the basic plan there. I think that's what we were talking about. And as I say here, you can see AM Nestos moving his Egyptian troops over to that flank. They're ready to attack at the flank. And as I say, when TR attacks up that hill, he is, I would have thought, going to suffer a lot of casualties there from the missiles coming down on him as he charges. As I say, you can see TR here getting geared up to go up straight up there. And as I say, I'm moving my Byzantine Empire troops over to the trying to get in behind the hill there with my infantry and cavalry. Okay, so as I say, we're looking to hit the hill from 3 separate directions is what the plan is here. And as I say, you can see the French general spotted my infantry moving around behind them, and he's moved some of his infantry over there to try and neutralise an attack from the rear. Plus, don't forget, they've got all their French missile troops up there as well, with their effective against armour missiles charging into us. As I say here, Demon here with his musketeers, well, they already got a really long range and do a lot of damage, but of course, as I say, from up on the hill there, they will be doing even more damage. And as you can see there, he's got his infantry ready to repel any attack. Let's say it's Pavis crossbowmen there. I always think it's pretty cool. As I said, we talked about this before. You can see them reloading, winding up the crossbow, putting the bolt into the crossbow, and then just standing up and aiming and shooting that effective against armor crossbow bolt into the enemy. Okay, so as I say, I think TR is almost ready to attack straight up, full frontal attack here up the hill. As you can see here, he's starting to move his troops forward there up at the hill. Now remember, that's what the battle plan is for the team. Right, there you are. Let's pause the game. So if you notice here, as I say, TR's got all his units in open order to avoid as much missile damage as he can as he runs up the hill. Okay, so as I say, he's going to run up the hill, try and hold and pin Demons' forward units. Okay, AM Nestos here with his Egyptian army are going to smash him from the flank, try and roll him up there from that flank. As I say, my infantry and cavalry are in behind, trying to get in behind at the hill there. Okay, there's my infantry going to charge up from that direction. Okay, so that's what we're looking to do. That's the battle plan here. But as I say, TR charging straight up, full frontal attack here with all those missiles coming down on him. He is going to suffer a lot of casualties. But as I say, using his years of knowledge in Rome Total War, puts his units into open order so that he suffers less damage from missile troops. As I say, you can see him running up the hill there. Those missile musketeers there are probably going to retreat now. They've probably got skirmish mode on, and they'll probably run back there from TR's attacking Portuguese troops. Okay, so you can see TR now. Now, if you notice here, he's put his units into close, tight formation now before he gets into hand-to-hand fighting. Because if you fight in open order, you tend to not be so strong as you are in normal, close, tight formation there. Okay, so here now you can see AM Nestos moving his Egyptian troops into the flank there. So as I say, the first part of the plan of TR attacking straight up there, full frontal attack has happened, pinning and holding the forward units of Demon on that hill. And as I say, you can see AM Nestos attacking there. Now the enemy French general is bringing units down here to try and counter AM Nestos there. So as I say, it'll be interesting to see if this battle plan is going to work. I can see some of TR units being routed already. Right, you can see a downhill cavalry charge there. Bang! As Demons cavalry charges in there. Remember, they got that downhill charge bonus on top of the cavalry charge bonus as well there. He's got infantry, and remember, both infantry and cavalry will get a downhill charge bonus as well. So you can see TR is really up against it here. Okay, let's pause the game. So, with that downhill charge bonus, TR has got to try and hold here, because his job, as I say, is to try and hold and pin as many of Demon's infantry and cavalry as he can there, where AM Nestos and myself attack the flank and rear of the hill here. Okay, so that's the basic battle plan there. You can see my infantry there moving across that track now to attack up the hill there. Okay, so that's my infantry now. I've got my cavalry further around the back there. Okay, now just to let you know, give you a heads up of what I'm planning here. What I want to do with my cavalry, okay, my cavalry is battle damaged, but what I'm looking to do is take it up the hill here, over the top of the hill, okay, down into the dip, and then back over the front part of the hill, okay, and then smash down into the rear of Demon's engaged cavalry. Okay, so that's what I want to do. I want to bring my cavalry up over the hill here, up on there, and then smash them into the rear of Demon's engaged cavalry. Okay, so that's what I'm looking to do with my cavalry, and we will then have him in a hammer and anvil attack, TR's infantry being the anvil and my cavalry being the hammer. Okay, so here you can see AM Nestos moving his Egyptian troops further up towards the hill there, but you can see a lot of Demon's units are fully intact there, ready to charge into the fray when he needs to. As I say, TR is doing a really great job of holding here against the downhill charge of Demon's Venice infantry there. As I say, you can see AM Nestos there moving forward. And I think AM Nestos may well have lost his general there from what I could see. And of course, morale is very important to any army on any game there. So by losing a general there, that's not so good. Here you can see that one unit there could well be brought in to charge into AM Nestos' infantry. And here you can see my infantry is charging up the hill. I'm engaging that French unit that's been sent in to hold me, but I'm hoping to break through that. Right, here's my cavalry. Okay, I've brought it in. Remember, I was over there. I've charged up the rear of the enemy's hill. Okay, I'm going to charge down into that dip, with a view to charge up onto the higher ground of that dip, and then down onto the engaged French cavalry. Okay, so you can see now I've charged through the dip, coming out the other end there. I engaged that French unit there, and now we're up onto the top, and I want to charge down into the rear of those engaged enemy cavalry there. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. I'm going to charge down there with my cavalry. You can see TR's brought a cavalry unit of his own around the rear there and charging into them. And you can see my cavalry charging down onto those Venetian engaged cavalry there. So between us, we've got those Venetian cavalry in, as I say, a hammer and anvil attack. The a Portuguese infantry of TR being the anvil and our cavalry being the hammers there. Okay, you can see, do you remember we talked about those units that throw those handheld like fire pot grenades? Look at those fire pot grenades going off amongst Demon's infantry there. Okay, those fire pots, my guess is take away the morale from enemy troops, as well as causing big casualties. Look at that guy burning to death there, as well as causing big casualties. Look at those fire pots going off there. As I say, they must take morale away from the troops, making them more susceptible to routing, plus burning them alive as well, causing big casualties. So you can see a lot of those fire pots there are causing a lot of problems there to Demon's infantry. And from what I can see here, it looks like we've managed to take the hill there. Okay, let's just pause again for a second there. So between us, it looks like we have managed to take the hill. The battle plan worked there for us. Demon did well to hold for as long as he did, but of course I think the battle, I don't know what you guys think, but I think the battle may well have been lost for the other team over here when their Spanish ally tried to do a 1v3 battle here. Okay, yeah, I know he had the most powerful faction in the game with Spain, but maybe he should have just taken his army over to the hill. If he'd have formed up further back in his forming up area, he'd probably been able to run over to that hill without us hitting him, but he decided to make a stand, and so it made it a 2v3 as soon as we took out his army there. So I think that that's probably where the battle was lost for the enemy there. As I say, you can see, as I say, I thought TR's charge at full frontal attack up that hill was pretty valiant there. I thought that was a really classic uphill charge. And of course the battle plan worked quite well with Nestos going in from the flank with his Egyptian troops. My archers were shooting into them all the time, and my infantry coming in from the rear and my cavalry coming up over from the top there. There's still a couple, I think, of French units there that we're still fighting at the moment. As you can see there, this French unit here, and you can see my Byzantine infantry attacking them there. Once again, enemy up on the hill. Look, if you notice here, I'm attacking up the hill there, but I think numbers are going to tell there against those French infantry. They're good quality infantry, but as I say, the numbers there, and they were already battle depleted. You can see I'm going to charge my cavalry in as well now. The cavalry will go through my engaged infantry and smash into those French troops there, and bang as they smash in there. You can see them going through there, and it wouldn't surprise me if that now you can see I'm pushing both infantry and cavalry. I'm surging forward there with infantry and cavalry into that French unit. As I could see, it was weakened and it's finally broken there. So as I say, we managed to take that unit out, and as I say, it looks like our team has managed to win the battle there. But as I say, you never attack a hill without a good battle plan, and as you can see there, our team's battle plan seemed to work quite well for us there. Okay, first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. Everybody played well there. Well done, guys, to everybody that played. As you can see, it was a clear victory. Well, I thought it would have been about an average victory there, guys. I don't know what you thought, but it's a clear victory. And highest kills in the game goes to Nestos there with his Egyptian faction, 933 kills. But if you look just below that, you'll see that TR with his Portuguese faction got 931. So there's only 2 kills in it between those two. So well done to them. Well done to Cholo Macho there with his Spanish faction. Now, bearing in mind that he decided to make a stand on his own to get 840 kills, the highest kills in his team, just goes to show how good that Spanish faction is. Well done to Militant Sumo there. Maybe he should have moved his infantry up on the hill. And well done to Demon there. He held the hill well there. So really well played, guys, there. It's just that Spanish, French and Venice army there, all good factions, So really well played there, but I just think the Spanish player might have made a tactical bad move there. My Byzantine Empire got some good kills there, 905. Let's say AM Nestos, highest kills in the game, and TR only 2 kills behind him there. And if we look at the statistics of my army, if you notice, some of my archers haven't even suffered any casualties at all. And they seem to have killed quite a few enemy troops there. Cavalry, not too bad, maybe not outstanding. But I thought the infantry, if you look at the infantry kills, I thought they were quite poor for the infantry there, not so good. So just like I say, hope you enjoyed this battle. It was an interesting hill battle, I thought. Look forward to seeing you soon, and bye for now.